Selene and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to start decluttering the kitchen. We're going to be doing some spring cleaning. There's a lot of things that I've just accumulated that I've noticed that I haven't used, and I feel like we're running out of space, which is mind-blowing to me because we used to live in a really small house and I had a tiny little kitchen where only like one side had cabinets and I was able to fit everything that I needed there. But I feel like once you get a bigger house and you have more storage space, you start bringing in more things. So I need to declutter. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I don't need and that I just hold on to, but I'm going to be donating them. Also, with having Benji, there's a lot of new baby things that need to be put away, and the majority of them are just sitting on the counter, and I don't want them to just be sitting there the entire time, not only because it looks cluttered and it looks messy, but I want to be able to go through his things and see the things that he didn't use in order for me to put them in storage or put them somewhere else in the kitchen, especially now that we have another baby coming soon, and I want to make sure that everything is nice and organized. So I am going to tackle this. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I don't think it's only going to take me one day. So I'm just going to do like the pantry, the fridge, and like the cabinets and try to go through as many things as possible, doing it all KonMari style. So we'll see how we get through it. But let's get started. This felt really overwhelming at first when I started because I knew that I needed to declutter the entire kitchen, and we have so many cabinets and it was already somewhat organized. I just added more things over time over the last 3 years that I knew there was too many things at once. So I just picked any cabinet and I was like, I'm just going to take everything out one by one, and as I'm taking out, I'm going to see what I've used in the past year, and if I haven't used it or I have doubles of, then I will go ahead and get rid of it and I will go ahead and donate them. So that is my thinking process. And if it helps out, put on a podcast, put on some music, something's going to help you get through it, because depending on how much stuff you have, it could be really overwhelming to go through every single thing. So that really helped out, is seeing what I had doubles of. For example, I had way too many cupcake stands and way too many cupcake bins. When I bake, I usually just used one or two, as one is coming out of the oven and the other one is going in, and I don't need 4 of them. So for that reason, I got rid of the ones that I knew that I wasn't going to use. And then since I do have a little baby, a little 6-month-old that I need to take care of throughout the day, I did it in certain sessions. So as you can see, I'm doing this throughout the week, and I take a lot of breaks because of course I'm still taking care of a little baby, but that didn't stop me from trying to get through the entire kitchen, because that was my goal. And by the end of the week, we decluttered the entire thing and it felt so amazing. So once again, take everything out. Something that I often accumulate also are a bunch of containers to store food, like a lot of Tupperware. And I don't have the lids to some of these because I've either lost them somehow. I don't even know where they've gone, because we've been quarantined for the past year, and usually I lose them when I go to people's houses, but we haven't gone to anybody's houses or been to any parties in order for me to be losing them. So if they didn't have a lid and I haven't used them in the past year, then I'm just gonna go ahead and donate them. And something that I would tell myself is, oh, I'll find out later, or oh, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be useful when I have leftovers, or things like that. And you know what, to be honest, I use the exact same 3 Tupperware over and over again, and they don't stay in the fridge for longer than a week or a week and a half. So then I go ahead and I wash it and I put it back. So I'm like, why do I have so many of them? So I just kept 1 or 2 of the same category, and if I had more than what I needed, I just went ahead and I tossed it out, including pitchers, because I'm like, oh, maybe I want to have like 2 different kinds of, drinks. But like, when was the last time that I actually made like lemonade, like fresh squeezed lemonade? It's not that often, and when I do, I don't need 2 pitchers. So things like that. Also, this needed to be cleared out. I used to have like dinner parties or dinner exchanges with our friends and family, And like I said, in the past year we haven't done so, and things will get back to normal eventually where we're going to be taking food other places, but by then I just feel like I'll be more organized with things and I won't have to worry about looking for a million different kinds of lids and a million different kinds of Tupperware to match it. So it just got so much easier if I kept buying the same Tupperware over and over again of the same brand and the same size, so that way it's easier to find lids. And I have this little organizer that I found on Amazon, and if it doesn't fit in this drawer, then I just go ahead and toss it out, as in like donate it or something, because I don't want to keep way too many things, because you don't need that much of like different containers. When you get rid of the things that you are not using and things that don't match, like for example like Tupperware with their lids, like you get time back in your life because you're not spending that time looking for it or washing extra dishes, so it's really nice. So this next drawer right here is a junk drawer, which I feel like everything just lands in here, and if we don't know where to put something, it goes in here. And I couldn't even name 5 things that are in there that I knew that was in there, so I was like, you know what, I need to toss everything out. So I went by the KonMari method, which is a 20/20 rule. If it's under $20 and it's less than 20 minutes of a drive for you to go out and find it, then you need to toss it out if you haven't used it in like the past half year. So that is exactly what I did, and we had way too many cords, so I went ahead and I wrapped those cords individually and I put them in a drawer that has just like electrical things, so that way I knew where everything was. And then there was just a bunch of random nails and hooks, and it's like, if I really need a specific nail or hook, I'm not gonna go in this drawer and like look for it. Like I'm just gonna go out and get whatever measurements it is that I need. So there were just like some random things, so I went ahead and I cleared it out, and that felt so good. You guys, this drawer is still empty to this day, and I did this about 2 weeks ago, and I can't believe that we haven't put anything in there because we organized everything in a different area and it just looks so much better. Up next is this drawer, or should I say, what is this called? Like the corner Lazy Susan cabinet. And it's such an awkward space because it's really hard to organize because of the shape that it is. And this was one that I was dreading. So I was like, once I get super pumped of going through things, I'm going to leave this one towards the end of the day because this is just way too much. It was a bunch of random things, and I have to like ask Ricardo a bunch of times, like, do we need this? Do we really need this? Can we throw this out? Because I didn't know what to do with everything. So just take everything out, and as I am taking everything out, I went ahead and I tossed a few things, donated some other things, and then just kind of categorized things as I took them out. And that helped because for a while I didn't know what to do with the things in here. These are some random items that I pulled out of the cabinets and the drawers, and some of these are empty, some of these are trash, some of these things are expired or they're overused. So just depending on the quality of them, I went ahead and I donated some, and then others I tossed out. So it just depends on what it was, and some of these things were just like double things that I had. So I went ahead and made sure to organize things also that needed to be recycled, so that way everything went in the right place. And that is just so much easier. If you take everything out and put them in categories, as I mentioned before, it makes things so much easier. So we have all of these things that I need to go through. So these are all baby items that I got for like my baby shower that he's now going to start using, because He's eating solids. These are like bigger bottles that he hasn't gotten into. These are other bottles that he used to like. And then over here are just clean dishes that I want to put away because just sitting it on top of here is just driving me bananas. So I'm gonna transition things that are used more often in here, since up here I have some things that are already organized, but I need to switch them somewhere else because I feel like this is easier access and I could put like his plates and stuff up here instead. Here's a drawer that I thought was already organized, but once I opened it, I was like, there's a few things in here that I can toss out that we don't need. For example, we had way too many forks and spoons to the point where it's unnecessary to have that many with just Ricardo and I. And when we have guests sometimes, we just didn't know where to put like certain things that it was rumbling all over the place. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna donate some of them. We do not need this many. And then also just made sure to like clean it out. And there's also a bunch of little things in there that we collected over the years. So I went ahead and I tossed it out and it made a huge difference. So I just made sure to go ahead and give it a nice clean, and then kept the things that we wanted, including the cutting boards, because sometimes I'm like, I don't need like 5 different cutting boards. I just need like the ones that I use the most, and then the rest I can go ahead and get rid of. This is another area of my kitchen where I had a little bit of a harder time trying to figure out what's best to put away, because I just felt like we have so many things outside in our kitchen and we have so much cabinet space that we could easily put them inside of these cabinets so they don't have to be out. And I was like, I have to figure it out. Like, we have way more than enough space because, as I mentioned before, when I lived in the other house, I felt like I had maybe 1/5 of the storage space that I have now, and I was able to put everything away and have a clean kitchen. And now we have such a huge kitchen that it's like, what have I accumulated in 3 years that I use more than before? So I was like, you know what, there has to be a way for me to, get rid of other things that I am just not using. So because we have so many new things after having a baby, I know that it can definitely duplicate with the things that you need, but I still found a way to do it, which is great. And I went ahead and I just categorized things differently, and they still all fit. So now we do have a nice counter space where not everything is out and we are able to put everything away. Alright, so here is the next day. I could not do it all in one night. It was just way too much, but I do have this cabinet underneath where we have our coffee bar, and it's consumed with a bunch of decor, and it's like, why is home decor here in the kitchen? So I was like, you know what, I have a better place for them. And I also have decor that I didn't use in the past year, so if I didn't use it in the past year, I'm gonna get rid of it, even though there's some things that I really liked, and I'm like, you know what, like, I didn't like it enough to display it. So I went ahead and I got rid of it. I needed to find a designated spot for everything, including some things that I had in this drawer that were based around Valentine's Day. So I had like a tablecloth and, like, once again, kitchen decor, but it's still home decor. So I was like, I have to put that somewhere else. But I also had that all mixed up with like my baking goods. And I do like to bake when it's like someone's birthday, or when I'm setting up like something in general, like our gender reveal was coming up, so I really wanted to make some cupcakes, or like my mom's birthday was coming up and I wanted to like decorate her cake. So I needed to just make sure that everything was nice and organized. So I was like, you know what, this drawer right here is going to be dedicated to everything that has to do with like decorating things for baking, and including like the mixer, and then all of the other things that I have, like the turntable and other just random baking things. So I was like, you know what, I have to make it fit, because I need to be able to just have one area where everything is at, so that way I'm not looking for things in the kitchen, because then I don't get motivated to go ahead and bake or decorate or do anything like that. So I was like, I'm just gonna put it all in one place, and I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I could see everything so that when I am trying to make these treats that I feel motivated enough to get it done. In this top drawer is where I keep my cookbooks, my cooking magazines, and also my recipe book, along with just a bunch of random things that made their way here. And this helps me out a lot, but I need to find a different place for these because I just feel like they're taking precious space. So I went ahead and I just organized it this time and took out things that I didn't need. But I do need to find a better space for them because what I want to put there eventually is like my tea and then also like things for the coffee so it's easier access. Now, it's no secret that I love to collect cute mugs, tumblers, and cups, but it has gotten out of hand, especially because, you know, we get them for different holidays, we get them as presents, and then Ricardo also picks up some from work, or like right here is one from like the Disney parks, and I was like, you know what? We do not need a million different kinds, so I'm just gonna keep the ones that we use the most and then donate the rest. They'll find a happier home and they will actually get some use, because when they're all the way in the back, I don't see them and I forget about them, and as much as I like some of these, they're never gonna get used, so there's no point in having them. So I was like, you know what, I really need to get rid of these, and not gonna lie, it was really hard because I love like some of the patterns and colors, but I was like, I'm going to reduce everything, and my main goal is to have all the cups that I need, including mugs, and this one cabinet here. Like, this is more than enough space for mugs, tumblers, and other containers to contain liquid. So I went ahead and I made myself that promise, like I need to just have it here. If it doesn't fit in here, something has to go. Like, I need to toss one thing out if I want another thing to make it in here. So that way it's also going to help me from trying to buy more in the future, because unless I really love it and I can't be without it, then I'll buy it, not just because it's cute. So I went ahead and I kept my favorites, and it made a huge difference because now whenever I go and I'm thirsty or I need to like run out the door and run some errands and I just need something really quick, I could just open this up, get something that I absolutely love, and that brings me so much joy, and that's also efficient, and we're good. Like, I don't have to dig through all of these things. I am wrapping everything up so that way if something breaks while I'm donating it or in the car, it's within its own bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap everything individually, and then I'm just gonna take this box to where we donate everything and drop it off. The other cabinets that I had were already very well organized, and I didn't need to get rid of anything because I didn't have like duplicates of things. So now we're gonna go ahead and start with food. And I saved this for last because I knew that I wanted to get a spice rack and get it really nice organized, because I have a bunch of different spices that I don't even know what I have and I buy duplicates of. And some spices are not that cheap to buy, so I was like, you know what, I just need to go through everything, including like our medicine cabinet and our pantry. So you will see me declutter all of that, and just beware, it is really embarrassing, and I cannot believe how much stuff we have for just the two of us, and Benji is barely starting on solids, so he's not eating that much. So I do have a future video coming up, which I have already filmed, sharing with you guys how I switched out like our foods into different containers and how I organized our pantry into different containers, and it looks so much better. So that is coming up, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. I am so excited because it turned out great. I showed a preview over on my Instagram and you guys absolutely loved it, and we're asking for a video and asking for links of where I got everything. So right now we're going to just get rid of things, and this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm gonna go through each single drawer of food and of course check, 1, if it's expired, 2, if I'm going to be using it, taking out like any empty boxes or things that are stale, and maybe ingredients that I thought I used or that I needed for one recipe, but I'm not gonna make that recipe again, so I got rid of that. So just things like that, because I feel like sometimes I feel guilty that I'm throwing out certain foods or spices or specific ingredients, but I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna use it and they're going to expire, and it's just taking up valuable space in my kitchen, and I just need to get rid of it. Also, for example, we tried out like these protein pancakes. They were not good. I did not like them. I'll go ahead and I'll ask like my family if they want it or try it out if it hasn't gone bad, and if they're like, oh no thanks, then you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and toss it out. So I don't want to continue to waste more food like this. That's why I need to make sure that it's organized and that I could see everything. So I also separated the things that I used when it comes to like lactation food that supports breastfeeding. So I went ahead and I separated those because everything was just in one spot and it was so unnecessary for me to have it all in one spot. So just going through everything, oh my goodness, this was such a headache, but I'm so glad I did it, because once you guys see the afterwards, you will be surprised at how much stuff I didn't need. This is the second pantry area that we have stuffed with light bulbs, medicine, dog food, cleaning supplies, extra supplies. It's just a mess. It's a bunch of different things, and I was like, this is gonna give me the biggest headache. Like, food is supposed to go in here, and we just made it into like a big mess. And I think this mostly happened when we had Benji. When he was born, he was a newborn, we were new parents, we didn't know how to really manage our time or where to store things. Like when we would come home from the store, we would like just put it in that pantry, where things are, and I really needed to get rid of it. So I was like, we have all this like dog food and things that we can put in like different containers and just like a bunch of random things. So I cleared all of this out, and oh my goodness, there was just a bunch of things that we didn't need. I cannot believe how much we accumulated. This looked so much better before, and we actually had it under control. But like I said, when you have a baby, like a lot of things kind of go in the back burner, like including where you store things. So I was like, I need to get rid of all this, and this cannot happen again. For the longest time, something that I told myself was, oh, I'm gonna get one of these bins so that all these bags like don't just sit in a drawer somewhere. And what happened? The total opposite. All these bags ended up in one of these drawers where I could use this drawer for something else, and there's just a bunch of things in here. So I went ahead and I stored them in a different place, and it looks so much better. Everything is so nice and organized. Look, there was even some bags in the back there that I had to get some tongs to get those out. This is something else that got out of hand. Sometimes when we're about to run out of a cleaner, I'll go ahead and buy another one, and then I forget to use the one that I used before. So some of these were halfway empty, and I just needed to make sure that I combine the ones that were alike and then get rid of the things that I didn't use. And I wanted to find some storage for different things in order to make it look a little bit more appealing so that things are more color coordinated. So I plan to go to IKEA and also just buy some things on Amazon so I can better organize things. But for now, before I buy anything to organize, I want to make sure that I declutter and get rid of the things that I don't. So before you start buying a bunch of different containers for anything in your house, when you're trying to declutter and organize, the first step is to decluttering, so that way you don't over purchase things. For example, look how cool this was. This was like a little bin that I had, and I put the trash bags in there. So the trash bags are hidden away, and all you have to do is like pull on it and get one out. But it looks nice and neat. And I also love these white bins from IKEA, and I plan to replace that basket next to it with one that is white, and then label those just so that everything looks nice and appealing. But at first I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna see what I have and the space that I need, and then later on, once I know what I have, I will go ahead and buy the bins necessary. But I don't want to over purchase things for no reason, because I don't want to have to go back and return things if I don't need them. Are you guys ready to see how everything turned out? This is the moment that I've been waiting for. It feels so much better here in our kitchen. Things are more organized. We can see everything. If I can't see it, I don't know it's there, I'm gonna forget about it and I'm not going to use it. So my number one goal was that I have to be able to see everything. Things cannot be behind one another. And then once I know what I have, then I can go out and get those containers. So be on the lookout, like I said, for the next video where I will be showing you guys how I organize our pantry and our spices and just like other things in the kitchen, which I am so excited to share with you guys. I successfully got rid of a lot of things that we didn't need, that we even ended up with empty drawers and cabinets. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll talk to you next time. Muchos besos. Mwah!